Hey everyone, I'm Mind, and this is set number 80066, Mythical Creature Qilin from the LEGO Monkie Kid theme. This set contains 791 pieces, 5 minifigures, as well as 1 molded animal, and will retail for $69.99 in the US when it officially releases on January 1st, 2025. This set was gifted to me early for review by the LEGO Group through the LEGO Ambassador Network, but all opinions expressed in this video are entirely my own. I'm doing early reviews of a bunch of 2025 LEGO sets right now, including the other Monkie Kid set, which is already up right now on my channel, and more coming soon. So if you like seeing these and you want to see more, make sure to leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel if you're new. But now, with all that being said, let's get into the review. So to start things off, here's the main build of the set, the Qilin. And from my understanding, the Qilin is a Chinese mythical creature that's essentially a combination of a horse and a dragon, and I definitely think they captured that pretty well in this model. Right off the bat, this set immediately reminded me of the Monkie Kid's Lion Guardian set that came out in 2021. Of course, by the time this comes out, it will be 4 years since that set, so I don't think it's a big deal that those two are similar, especially because they are different animals, it's just a similar color scheme and a similar idea. So I guess now let's move up a little bit closer and take a look at the more intricate details of this build. We'll start at the head, which I quite like the shaping of. It uses these printed eye pieces, which we have seen in LEGO Monkie Kid before, but with these mech finger pieces on top to be like physical eyelids. And I think that helps it stand out, because it makes the design more physical. It's not just a printed eyelid, though of course the printed eyelid's still a part of the design. And that's of course the same on both sides. The creature has these golden tendrils coming out of the nose to be like a little mustache, and I like how this looks, however they do sort of cover up the eye if you push it back. Now in theory you're just not supposed to do that, and all the official box art it's like this, and that's fine, because then the eyes are showing and you can still see the mustache. But just with how these are connected, if you're playing with this, it's very easy just to accidentally go like that. So I kind of wish this was down a little bit lower or connected in a different way, because I don't love how when that's pushed flat you can't really see the eyes. It's not the end of the world though, especially if you just have this posed on the shelf. Just something I noticed and I was like, huh, that's odd. There's a sticker piece on this creature's forehead. The bottom jaw right here can open up to pose it with its mouth open. There's ears on the sides that can flap up and down, as well as horns at the back that can move up and down. And then here's one of my favorite techniques in the entire set. They use the Ninjago big SCCBS armor piece in gold to make a transition from the head into the neck. You can see that part clips onto the head, and then the head connects to the neck on a ball joint. But when it's not flipped down, it looks a little bit awkward, like the transition from the head into the neck doesn't feel the most natural. But that's what this part's for. It makes the transition very smooth, and it's able to actually move with it as you move the head. It reminds me of like what a lot of mechs do to cover up knee joints. They'll include a big piece like this to sort of cover up the joint but still allow that movement. And I think this is the first time I've seen a technique like that used on a buildable creature. Also just happy to see the big SCCBS armor piece in general, because I believe this is the first set outside of Ninjago it's ever come in. If I'm wrong about that, let me know in the comments, but yeah, the small one's been used a few times outside of Ninjago, but I don't believe I've seen this one in the wild yet. Speaking of parts too, there is an amazing new part right here. You may have noticed this chain. Well, this is not the standard LEGO chain piece, this is an all-new chain piece. It's got 3 loops with bar connections on the end, and that is amazing. It would look awesome for like custom nunchucks. If we somehow ever get the nunchucks of lightning back in Ninjago, I would love to see this part in transparent blue. I feel like people have been wanting a part like this forever, and now we finally have it. Absolutely amazing to see. And you get 2 of it in this set, 1 on each side. Though I know it's not exclusive to this set, I think it comes in some of the Chinese New Year sets this year too, so I'm sure we're going to see it more often, but yeah, this is one of the first sets to include it. The neck itself I do think has a pretty harsh angle that wouldn't look the best if it wasn't for that piece. When I was building it up, I was like, ooh, I don't know how I feel about this, but I really feel like attaching that armor piece on top fixed everything. I love the way the mane was done right here though. The teal is super striking against all the red, and it has a really nice shape to it all too, with all these different angled pieces. Below that there's stud shooters, which of course you can push down on, and a stud will shoot out. Don't know where that went. Where did that go? I guess we'll turn to the other side to show that off. But yeah, in the case of this set, it is a trans red tile piece. And these can actually be folded out of the way if you don't want this guy to go on the offensive. They tuck away real nicely back here, and I guess you could shoot backwards if you really wanted to, but I think that's probably not the intent behind this. I guess now's a good enough time to point out that there is a lot of gold in this build, and gold has always been a pretty big part of the Monkie Kid identity. But there's one big difference with this set compared to previous Monkie Kid sets, because Monkie Kid would very often use lacquered gold. Those are the pieces where the plastic is in gold, but there's like a gold paint on top of them. I don't know if paint's the correct term, but the point is it's not the actual plastic. It gives it a very shiny appearance, a very different appearance, and I think especially in those early Monkie Kid waves, that lacquered gold gave it a lot of its identity. With this set though, there is not a single piece of lacquered gold. Actually, I have a good example of lacquered gold, because the Monkie Kid minifigure in the set still has it on the staff piece. The ends of the staff are lacquered gold, everything else in the set is pearl gold. And I definitely do not dislike pearl gold as a color, I think it's actually really nice. But I feel like lacquered gold is part of what made Monkie Kid special, so it feels a little weird to not see it here. I would have liked even just a few parts to use it. I believe lacquered pieces are more expensive to produce, so I guess that explains why this price is like on the better end of things. But even still, I don't know, would have been nice to see. Anyway, moving back in, below the stud shooters, you have these cloud pieces that connect on mini ball joints. I like what they add to the build. They help make the body feel more full when everything's in place. And on the side of the body, we have a sticker right here with some more teal fur, a little bit of printed armor, and then they use this piece of bright orange right here, which it's great to get that part in that color. I've come to really love this part as of recent because it just feels so versatile. It can be used as fur as it's used in this set, but it's also used as like snow or rock, depending on what color it is and what the context of the set is. And I am just really impressed how versatile it is despite having a very specific design. The build, I'm pretty sure, is exactly symmetrical, so everything's exactly the same on the other side. The tail connects on a hinge so it can be moved up and down, and then this like tentacle piece that comes out can be rotated independently. There's more of those gold cloud pieces to be the tuft on the end of the tail, which I think looks really good. This does just feel like the set's embracing the Monkey Kid identity, which I think is a good thing. This part comes in so many Monkey Kid sets, and I love to see it being used in abundance like this. And gold is a new war color for that part, though I believe it did come in sets last year. I don't think it's new for this set. Legs look good, they're nice and armored. We got some stickered armor pieces here, both on the front and the back legs. They use the SCCBS armor pieces to cover things up. The front legs actually do use the SCCBS joint pieces, and that's actually in gray. You can see a little bit of it right here, but it's very covered up, so it's not super obvious. I like that they did that. It's used to form the shape, but it's not actually meant to be visually shown off. And it helps to differentiate this from some ninjago creatures that do feature that part more prominently. But yeah, I think all this looks really nice. It's a good combination of armor pieces while also still having like that natural fur look at the back. And then there's a really nice shape on the back legs. I love how that leg bends. There's a little bit of fire coming off the back leg too, definitely makes this feel more like an actual mythical creature. And just like the body, the legs are symmetrical. Front legs are both identical, back legs are both identical, just mirrored. All 4 feet are exactly the same, but they each use 2 of this fire piece that was originally introduced in, what was it, 2022 or 2023? The wave with the fire rings, this was the fire ring fire piece. I'm actually glad to see this part's not retired. We got it in the Fortnite Battle Bus set in Trans Blue, and now we're getting it again here. I think it's a good thing to have like multiple ways to depict fire, and I feel it's a very versatile part even outside of LEGO Monkie Kid. They used this piece that was introduced in 2024 in the feet too, and that helps to give them a more unique appearance. In terms of posing and range of motion on this build, I mean, it's solid. Head isn't crazy in terms of motion, but you can go side to side, move up and down. I think the biggest thing is it still looks very organic when the head's turned, which is something you can't necessarily say about every brick-built LEGO creature. Range of motion on the legs is pretty big. Of course, you can spin them a full 360. If you have this cloud piece back like it's supposed to be, this can get in the way of the leg movement, which is a little annoying, but if you don't want that in the way, you can just move it out of the way. It's on a ball joint at the very least. But yeah, the leg can be moved out, moved in, and spun around as you just saw. Back leg pretty much the same, about 90 degrees there, and then a full 360 if you really want. Range of motion on the feet's definitely a little bit smaller than I expected, but that's probably to help with stability. And in terms of stability, the build is very front heavy. So I've not been able to pose it without both front feet touching the ground to some extent. It doesn't have to be the entire foot, like you can see I have this one in somewhat of a walking pose, but that foot does still need to be on the ground. However, on the same note, because it is so front heavy, as long as the front feet are on the ground and one of the back legs is on the ground, you can do pretty much whatever you want with the other back leg. So you can have a more natural walking pose like this, or something more extreme like what I just showed you. I was trying to get this on like a ready to pounce pose, but because of the range of motion on the feet, I really couldn't. But here it is just laying down, another option you have. You can do a wider stance like this though, if you want. So I'm overall satisfied with this. It's always a give or take when it comes with posing, right? You want to have a wide range of motion, but you also want it to be stable. I think this does the important thing, is like being able to be posed in a walking pose, being able to have at least one leg off the ground. Maybe not the best ever that I've seen, but it's pretty solid and stable. I'm happy with it. But I think that's about all I have to show you for the Qilin, at least for now. I'll talk about it a little bit more at the end of this video. For now, let's take a look at the side builds in the set, then the minifigures, and then I'll give you my overall thoughts on everything. The first side build, though, you actually already saw. It's this right here. It's a little flyer for May. It's got 2 seats on it and attaches to the creature's back. The creature definitely feels a little more incomplete without it, but I like that that option's there. And actually, I said this is for May. I don't know if it's specifically for May. It uses teal, which I guess is one of her colors. But MK also uses white and teal this wave, so I guess it's just for whoever. There's a stickered flag on the back, some stickers on the wings, sticker on the front, 2 more stud shooters which also shoot out trans red circular tiles. I like this. It integrates nicely into the main build, but also works on its own. And I think it's cool to have a detachable flyer that's not just for one person, it's for 2 instead. Next side build is this little food cart for Pigsy, because of course we can't have a Monkey Kid wave without Pigsy having a place to sell things. I always love these though, and this one's no exception. There's a stickered like banner right here showing his prices and his items. And another all new piece right here. This actually was also somewhere else in the build, but I didn't point it out. This is a clip with a stud on the other end, which I know is going to come in handy for a lot of people. I can already think of like how useful this is going to be. A very cool part to finally have, and I think you get 3 in this set. 2 right here and then 1 on the little flyer we just looked at. There's handlebars if you want to have a minifigure pull or push this around, clips holding some accessories, a knife, some chopsticks, and there's a pot to cook the food and a bowl to serve it in. But of course, this also doubles as a weapon. If you open this up, you can see there's a little stud shooter hidden inside, which is connected on a mini ball joint, so you can move it up, aim it at your target, and when you're ready, push down on this right here and shoot out yet another trans red circular tile. Lots of those in this set, but hey, it's just more options for play. And then the final build in the set is this cloud that the Celestial Warrior rides on, and I think this looks good. We've gotten very similar things in many other LEGO Monkie Kid sets, including another set this wave. Typically it's for Monkey Kid or Monkey King, but this is a cloud for a new character, which is neat. However, yeah, it's the same basic design. They're all done a little bit different, but they have the molded cloud piece at the back to be like a thruster pushing it forward, the Unikitty tail pieces to make it look very fluffy, which I'm so happy to see that part is still in production. I do like how his legs are sort of hidden away in the cloud, that's pretty cool. And they use this LEGO Mario tile on the bottom to give it like this rounded shape. No like awkward colors or anything in here, there's a little bit of gray underneath, but that's not a big deal at all, that's covered up most of the time. Yeah, this is a good inclusion, I like it. Here are the first two minifigures in the set. We have Monkey Kid and May, both in all new outfits for this wave. So far, this is the only set that these guys come in, though I wouldn't be surprised if we get more sets in the summer this year that these are like the main suits for this year. Interesting design that they have going on too. It's a somewhat more casual design. They both have like these little jackets, but they are slightly different between them. The jacket's exactly the same, but Monkey Kid's got like a black shirt underneath with this white and red circle on it. Very similar to like outfits he's had in the past, while May you could see has high-waisted pants with a green shirt underneath that. This is an interesting thing that they're doing. It's similar to like the sweatshirt outfits that we got in the summer 2024 wave, where instead of being in like these elaborate battle outfits, they're in more casual clothes, but they still match together. I kinda like it though, I'm here for it. Now this Monkey Kid figure kinda goes all out, because he also has a matching leg piece, which is new and exclusive to this set, but it's just as detailed as the leg piece on his original minifigure, so it's dual molded with side leg printing, and it absolutely just makes this figure for me. I love how his shoes look with the bright orange clouds on the side, that's a really cool touch. And if we look at the back of the torso, you can see there's the Monkey Kid symbol, but also a little dragon face I assume to represent May. Because of that, I assume this is not a suit line like the entire cast of characters is going to get at some point. This is specifically a Monkey Kid and May thing. And I think it's really cute how they match. I like that a lot. May, unfortunately, does not have any leg printing at all, which is okay. As I said, it's a more casual outfit, so it's not like as necessary here as it may be on another minifigure. But even still, given how detailed MK is, I would have liked to see a little bit more for her. And then yeah, of course, face print and hair pieces are exactly the same as they've always been. MK's using the winking face that was introduced early in 2024, and he's got the angry face on the other side, while May's got the angry face on one side and just the happy smile on the other. These are good minifigures. I think it's a fun way to mix up their outfits. Here are the next two minifigures. We have Sandy and we have Pigsy, and Sandy is once again new and exclusive to this set, at least for now, though the only new part of him is that torso piece and his hair piece. Everything else has come in other sets. The leg piece is the Ninjago Young Woo legs, and I mean, he's used it before, it works well. For the first time ever, though, he doesn't have his mohawk anymore. Instead, he's got his hair back in a ponytail. I think that's an interesting change. I'm here for it. Now that Sandy's not a big fig anymore and he's a minifigure instead, they have more freedom to play with his design, and I think this hairpiece makes him seem a lot tougher. Removing the beard and hairpiece, though, there's a full look at the face print and the torso print, and now you have a much better look at his outfit. So he's shirtless, but he's got a vest on, and the vest has all these little patches with little cat pieces on them, which is just so cute. That's one of my favorite things about Sandy, is his love for Mo the cat, and they just went all in with that in this design, and I love it so much. It's super silly while also still making Sandy look really cool. And that idea continues around the back, too. You can see he just has a giant patch of Mo, of the actual Mo figure. If Sandy's like blue skin wasn't peeking through, I honestly might consider using this on my Sig fig. Not permanently, because I do like the torso that I have, but I just love the idea of the cat shirt. That's amazing. But unfortunately, yeah, it's not that useful for customs because it has to be on a blue skin minifigure, otherwise the character's just gonna have a blue chest peeking through. For Sandy, though, this might be my favorite version of him yet. Oh, and in terms of accessory, you can see he's got like this giant dumbbell. That makes sense, he's a very strong guy. And then Pigsy, unfortunately, is not new for this set. We've gotten him twice before previously. It's the same one that was introduced in the Megapolis set in 2024, and then he came in one more set later. It's a fine version of him. I like the red and gold striped shirt. There's a little bit of pink printing for his belly, and the blue does bleed through. That's unfortunate, but it doesn't like ruin the figure, it's okay. And then yeah, just the same headpiece he's had since the very first wave. A fine version of Pigsy, but not necessarily one of my favorites. The most interesting thing here is probably his accessory. He comes with an all-new dumpling piece for this wave. You do get an extra of it in this set, and it does come in both Monkey Kid sets this wave. But yeah, really amazing new molded food part. I like that a lot. Would have been nice to get an entirely new version of him, just like we got for all the other main characters in this set, but I'm just happy to get Pigsy at all. And to end things off, here's the final full minifigure in the set, a Celestial Warrior, and then we also have Mo the cat. Celestial Warrior I kind of already talked about in my last review with the Celestial Guard, I think it was called, and this figure is very similar to that one. They have the same exact torso print, which is great. I really love it. This like orange armor looks amazing. I love all those intricate little ovals on it. Combined with the metallic silver on top of the white, it's just amazing on all fronts. And then the all-new helmet piece is also really cool too. It was golden on the other figure, but it's silver on this one, and it's got like these lion eyes at the top, these wings on the side. And then this minifigure uses the Ninjago Legacy Skulkin armor, but in light gray, which I think fits in really well. All of those parts of this figure are amazing, and if the rest was good, I would really like this guy. But I just feel like they completely fumbled the rest of this minifigure. The face print is just this generic LEGO City face, and listen, if you want, you can replace this to be something cooler, which I probably would do. But I cannot believe this is the default face for this guy. It does not feel like it fits Celestial Warrior at all. This just looks like a normal guy to me. This isn't a Celestial Warrior. And then his alternate face has the scared expression, which I mean, yeah, I guess that one's good. But I don't know, I wish this face fit this design better. It doesn't necessarily have to be a new face print, because I get this isn't a named character, but just like literally any other face would be better, because this just looks so silly. But you know what, the face is whatever. It's very easy to replace, and it's up to personal preference. That's not the end of the world. The bigger deal in this minifigure is the lack of any leg printing. Obviously, leg printing's always nice, but not every minifigure necessarily needs it. You can have a good minifigure that doesn't have leg printing. The issue with this guy, though, is I feel like he absolutely needs it. With how detailed and elegant that torso is, the legs just having nothing feels so out of place to me. This is a warrior who has this really elaborate armor. That should absolutely continue from the torso into the legs. He could have knee pads, they could have like an armored skirt or something that hangs down. And even if the legs aren't meant to be armored, if it's supposed to be like a robe or something down there, have some like printed cloth or something. Just the amazing amount of detail here compared to the lack of any detail in the legs just feels so disjointed. And honestly ruins what could otherwise be an amazing minifigure. If you customize this guy, change out the head, and maybe find a leg print that works, I think this guy could be really, really cool. But by default, I think it's a real shame that this is the version of the guy that comes in sets. And then finally, we have Mo, and I'm so excited to say that adult Mo is back. For some reason, for like, what, 2 years, Mo was just a kitten in every single set he came in? And I mean, that was cute the first time it happened, but after a while I was like, wait, why are they still doing this? Why don't they go back to how he actually looks in the show? So I'm happy to say this is back to the original Mo mold with the mohawk and everything. And I'm so happy to have him back. Because it's been a little while too, he also does have a new face print. Now he's got like these angry eyebrows and his mouth is open and he's meowing. That's so cool. I think that's the first time we've ever gotten a new expression for an animal like this. But yeah, other than that, he's just the blue cat with the orange stripes and the mohawk. If Monkey Kid has more sets in the future, I really hope we get more of this guy, because the Mo figure is just one of the best parts of the Monkey Kid sets. I do say the word if in regards to future Monkey Kid sets, because this was a really weird and small wave. It kind of reeks of like, oh, the theme being on its last legs. There's no confirmation of anything ending, and I mean, I think the theme was successful for a good while. But yeah, who knows what the future holds. But now, overall, what are my thoughts on this set? I like it. I think this is a good set. It doesn't like especially wow me if you're the kind of person who only buys select LEGO sets and you're not like the biggest fan of Monkey Kid in the world, but you looked at it because you were curious. I would say to you it's not like a must-have by any means. There's probably more interesting sets out there. But if you are a fan of Monkey Kid and you like getting the sets, I think this is a good one to pick up. Minifigure selection's pretty good aside from the Celestial Warrior, but I mean at the very least there are some cool parts there. But you get basically the entire Monkey Kid cast except for Monkey King and Tang, and those two do tend to be the rarest ones. But yeah, MK, May, Sandy, Pigsy, and even Mo come in this set, which is really nice to see. And the build I think is incredibly solid. I think it accomplishes what it's trying to do, while also using some fun techniques and some cool new pieces along the way. Oh, and the price on this one's also surprisingly good, nearly 800 pieces for $70. The size of this build definitely feels like a $60 or $70 set, but given inflation and given the piece count, I think 70 is fine for this. I wouldn't call it like an amazing deal, but especially comparing it to like the Monkey Kid sets of 2024, this feels like a fairly good price. So I definitely would not call this a must-have set, but if you're already interested in it, yeah, I like it. I think you should pick it up. But of course, those are just my thoughts. Let me know what you guys think of this set in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like on it, subscribe to my channel if you're new, and as I mentioned, go check out my other early 2025 reviews up right now on my channel and more coming soon. And I think that's all I've got. Thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!